Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I have a vowel-heavy rack. I do not have a bingo. Should I change or play through this? And one advantage of playing would be to deny opponent access to a double word square. But if I play Hugh, I'm keeping a vowel-heavy rack. I'm minded to change. Is there a 5 or 6 letter play available? No, not that I can see. So I'll retain E. Should I retain H as well? Does H help ET? I'm getting rid of it. I'm keeping it. Maybe I should have gotten rid of it. But pretty horrendous pickup, 3 T's. Trading the H as well would not have altered that pick. Opponent's gone. Will he return? And opponent's back. Fantastic. Well, I wouldn't have particularly minded had he have left altogether. The game is very early doors. And I don't have a stunning rack. So, wow, I think the opponent may have blocked 10th. Because K doesn't take an E either side. Nor does G. Wow, so I'm reduced to playing through G, A or K. Which I can do with Hetman. Keeping double T, 15 points. I don't think that's fantastic. Double T is a bad leave, and I'm gifting opponent a lot of scoring spots. I'm going to change. And I'll keep ENT. Well, a slightly better rack. From an I would have innately. Do I have anything through the A, which will almost certainly be obstructed? And is. Great, only 36 points for the Z. Azo takes an N after it, and an L in front. Now, do any of these 2-letter sets assist? AG looks the most likely, but I'm not seeing anything. Now, I do have vowels for going to the right of GAC. Let me just put them in. Actually, E and A can go in either position. What goes after ZAR? Nothing I've got. Okay, well, let me scrap that idea. So what do I have ending in N? I do want to play off the Y and the N. Interesting. I could play just Nye down here. 14 points. Pretty good rack leave. Nye takes an A and an O. But this is... Wow. Is this a good play? I think it's okay. I'm purely worried about gifting row E, but this is a pretty good 5-letter set. And I draw the Q with the U, which is good. Yag takes an I and an E. I don't have a 7-letter bingo with this rack. I have an A for going in front of Nye, but there's a very good chance opponent will have an A or an O, or indeed an S. So, where's the best spot? I've got Quale at the moment in column 9. I think I'm going to have to trash this rack. I can't see any way of playing the Q and the U without significantly digging into the other tiles, but that's okay. I should be able to get about 30 points with the Q. And opponent's only 40 points ahead. Wow, 100-point bingo. That's painful. Do either of these floaters give me a bingo? Well, the E doesn't. Nor does the D. I could play Quale in column 8, and I think I'm minded to. It's 45 points and a good rack leave. And I'm not seeing anything better. Great. This looks very bingo-y. And, well, opponent came back last time. Hopefully he'll come back this time. Opponent's back. I don't know if he's having problems with his internet connection. Opponent could well obstruct Trendoid, and does. Q not useful. What about the U? U with this rack again looks promising. I have the out prefix. Routined, not good. So what about the A? Again, looks promising. I could be missing a ton of bingos here. D-ration and arointed. Great. So D-ration does not get doubled, so arointed is better. Ah, well, rationed better still. But is there a 7? I'm minded to play rationed. I don't think a 7 would score hugely better. I just, for my own satisfaction, like not to miss a 7-letter bingo, especially when it's this high probability. No, not seeing it. Are there any other floaters I should consider? Plays beginning ZA, not seeing anything. So rationed for 72. Wow, pretty grim. To a D, I would have Voivode, but that's not a bingo. Through an A, I would have Evo V. No A available. This is likely to be too good to change, I think. I've got Vivo and Op. Wow, keeping 3 vowels, but still better than changing. 22 points. EO is not going to be minus 22 in value. And I could indeed draw to a bingo. Wow, opponent has the second blank and gets down an 80-point bingo. I'm not in good shape. I trail by 150. What do I do about this spot? That's a huge spot. And opponent is definitely going to be able to go there. So is there a way of opening another huge spot? Don't think so. So this is what I was thinking about. Vivo and Op, and I am going with this. 6 vowels, pretty grim, but I did keep 3. Okay, so I kept 3 vowels and drew 3 vowels and a consonant. That's just the danger of having vowel-heavy rack leaves. 32 points for opponent. I trail by 170. Only 45 tiles left. No blanks, but 4 S's to come. So what to do here? Play or change? I really need to sort this rack out. I don't think it's good enough to just play off a couple of vowels. So Yag takes an E. I don't have anything to go after. ZA. I don't have anything through the V. I'm going to change. This is an awful rack. 1 D to come, so I'll keep a D for vowel consonant balance. Well, a much nicer rack. Could be a bingo here. Not seeing a 7. Where are the floaters? Well, V doesn't look promising. How about the I? Nope, not seeing anything there. Q, not useful. How about the U? No. Okay, well, that's all the floaters considered. The I was the only one which looked close. So what to do? I can stick my P above the I of rationed. This isn't a terrible rack. If I could play off P and D, or P and G, I would have a decent 5-letter set, and there are plenty of 5-letter lanes on this board. Yeah, opponent takes that P spot. So where can my P play? Well, I could play through this I, but I'd like to keep bingo lanes open. So I could play ping, keeping ride. Ride's not bad. Ping takes an A and an O in front, so it's providing a huge opportunity for a big non-bingo-y score, and that definitely favours opponent rather than me. Zap is good, so I could play peg. Rind, not a good rack leave, well, not a great rack leave, but loads of A's and E's to come, which would help this, and 29 points, pretty handy. I have in draft. Does that play? Well, I'm not sure it does. Onto a G, I would have drafting, but this G isn't in the open. Peg takes an H and an S. Now, bump is good. This is interesting because I have in draft, and I'm creating a 9-timer lane, which may be my only way back into the game. Opponent's likely to block that, but it's still a small shot at victory rather than none. So in draft 85, and I draw the vowels. Again, remaining tiles do look pretty bingo-y. Only the W and Y aren't. It's all about the balance of the tiles on my rack rather than the tiles themselves. So I'm certainly not tripling this go. Just wondering what I've got in the top row through this Q. It's not a bingo-y floater. I can see QUA. I don't have anything to go in front of IO. No, I can't see anything better than QUA. That doesn't sort the vowels out enough. Well, it's opponent to get down a 9-timer, so this really is not my game. I trail by over 200 points. And the remaining tiles still bingo-y. And I have junk. So, what to do? I don't think this is bad enough to change. But how can I address the vowel consonant balance? Well, I have EUOI, but I'm not seeing anywhere great for that. I could play in row M. And even EUOI keeps double EN with 4 E's to come. A play of UV would be better, but that scores hardly anything. I'm really not seeing anything which scores well. What about Qua? 18 points. Any vowel is going to leave me with a dreadful rack. I'm minded to change given how bingo-y the remaining tiles are. Well, that looks a little better. I would have histogen through an I. I do have histogen through that I. And And that remains available. Fantastic. Do I have anything beginning with T? I do not. Look at this, opponent over 500 points and still 20 tiles to come. He's having his day in the sun. So histogen for 78. And I'm back with 6 vowels. Okay, remaining tiles looking fractionally less bingo-y, but still pretty good. The opponent may not have finished with me yet. Gosh, this is grim. Let me come back to row A. Still nothing to go in front of IO. That would be B and G. Do I have anything ending qua apart from just qua? I don't. This rack actually looks worse than the one on which I changed. Don't have any, well, sticking an O next to the J, even if I had a 2-letter play, it would leave a very vowel-heavy rack. What's opponent done? Wow, only 10 points, pretty good. That suggests he's nursing a pretty strong 5-letter set, but there's nothing I can do about that. 7 tiles left, so I can change. 8 vowels out of 19, it's fairly balanced. I will keep the L. Wow, not great. Certainly very non-bingo-y. I draw both of the non-bingo-y tiles in the W and the Y. So where can I play off those tiles? 11 tiles in the bag. Opponent gets another bingo down and is close to 600 points. And only 4 tiles left in the bag, so I'm not able to do any more changing. What can I do with this rack? Is there anywhere for Wiley? Mean takes an E. So I'd really like to play off WY and an I. I can do that with wiry. And the game is hopelessly lost from my perspective. It's all about minimizing the losing spread. And the best way of doing that, I think, would be to bingo. Mean takes an E, there's a floating T. So wiry provides the best rack leave. But I am taking out a 7-letter lane. So let me reconsider. I've got 8 minutes on my clock. Is there anything which doesn't take out bingo lanes? And what about playing YEW? Don't like that. I think I will go with wiry. Pretty grim. And the remaining tiles also grim. So I'm not totally sure what I was drawing to then. I guess certainly the S. And maybe this, well, I've got a C. So no bingo with this rack. And no bingos to come from opponent. Gosh, I'm close to T.O. Cali. Not quite close enough. Do I have Sokol. Keeping oil. Can I go out with oil? Oil and yo. And oil and 2. So I can. I think I will play this. Opponent can't reach the triple word square. Sticking an S on the end of mean. So where's the best spot for oil? Oil and yo, still available. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything better than that, so oil for 16. And the final score, 396 for me, 652 for opponent, a winning margin of 256 points, so well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. What a game. Absolutely amazing score by opponent, and I don't recall having changed so many times before. So it was me to go first. I had this rack, and there was Hote for 24, and yes, that was better than changing. Opponent's rack plays Gak, and now I thought about Hetman and didn't like all of the scoring opportunities it provided. The board as it stands with Gak doesn't provide very much, so I'm still happy with changing. Wow, missed bingo. Episode for opponent, E7, running down the side of Gak. Plays Azo instead. Nyanza, that's nice for 22. What do? I play Nye for 14. Well, Nyanza certainly a better play. However, NY kept Leighton. Is Leighton 8 points better than ELT? Well, it'll be close. ELT is a nice rack lead, probably worth about five or 6 points. Leighton, I think, is a nicer one. Well, it is a nicer one. Perhaps worth about 10 to 12. So there could be 5 or 6 points of difference there, and 8-point difference in score. But I think the real critical issue here is the number of front hooks that Nye takes. That's really to its demerit. Now, opponent's rack, and wow, this is the only bingo he has, so that's pretty brutal. My rack, and I played Quale for 45, that looks fine. And opponent draws the blank straight away, doesn't have a bingo, plays Z for 53, and is already 150 points in front. So, ordinate, there was a fourth anagram, C3. Yeah, and that would not have provided the floater that Rationed did, so, or floaters in E and D. And again, only one bingo, so absolutely great spot by opponent, and he wouldn't have had that, I don't think, if I'd played Ordinate. So I still trail by 150, I have this rack, and I play Vivo. That looks fine. Opponent plays If, and now back to 6 vowels. What do? I change, and I could have got 26B2 for Eved, opening up triple word squares and keeping a truly horrible rack leave. Well, I am content with changing, it's not terrible. Opponent plays High. No missed bingo here, and I play Peg for 29. Yeah, and I like that. I think DINR a better rack leave than GIR. Opponent's rack, I think he has Umbrate. Umbrate not good, it's Umbrated, I think. Plays Bum. Yeah, Umbrate would have played in column 13 if it was good, so it certainly isn't. And now I have a small scintilla of good luck with In Draft being playable. And I trail by only 100, but opponent gets a 9-timer down, triple, and I'm back with 6 vowels. Ami K5. Yeah, I think that probably is better than changing, as is Emu. But then the rack leaves starts to look a lot more ropey. Opponent's rack plays Mean. And now I have Histogen for 78, which brings me back to within 150 of opponents. Opponent plays Bad. So he played Bad from this rack, keeping AENRS, which is a monster. I have another horror show. Interesting, Levo for 23, probably better than changing. And look at this, opponent sitting there with Retains on his rack, plays Steiner. And I trail by 250 points. Yeah, and, well, K11, Way are coming down 30 points. I think, well, I was trying for a bingo, which is why I sacrificed 20 points. I suspect Way would have been better. Opponent's rack plays Aqua. Now what do? I play Sockle for 21, B2 Lovey. Yeah, that would have been a better play, I think, if there were 2 spots for CLO. Not sure there are. Opponent plays Seco. And finally, I play Oil for 16. And that is best. So, what a game. Absolutely brutal stuff. Opponent scoring over 650 points. Absolute bloodbath of destruction. But these games happen, and you just need to shake them off and get on to the next game. So, many thanks to my opponent for a good battle, and congratulations on a great victory. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.